Oh man, there is a hidden altcoin narrative which is playing out as we speak, and chances are you are under allocated on these plays. As you can see, Bitcoin is holding up at this 30,000 level, trying to break through that key level at 31. I did a deep dive into Bitcoin yesterday. Make sure you go watch that video. But today, we need to understand what is going on with altcoins, because when you look at the altcoin landscape, altcoins are not moving heavily. It's clearly a Bitcoin season, but there are certain key narratives which are starting to make themselves evident, and in this video I'm going to reveal exactly which type of altcoins are starting to move. Now, in order to understand which altcoins are moving, we need to understand the trend. We need to understand what is the context which could cause altcoins to move. Now, of course, we covered off the SEC case, and in that SEC case you saw that they went after certain altcoins. They did not go after Bitcoin and Ethereum. This led many altcoins, which particularly are forks of Bitcoin and proof of work, to start moving. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Single Vision, we saw these starting to move. We also know that those particular projects are going to be listed on EDX Markets, which is the new exchange being backed by TradFi, right? Citadel, Fidelity, we covered this all off on the channel. But then also you started seeing things like Cadena moving, right? Proof of work plays. But there's another narrative. That's not the narrative I'm going to come off. There's another narrative which is starting to pop off, which is decentralized finance. And again, this makes a lot of sense. If you look at how the SEC cracked down on Coinbase and Binance and many regional locations now starting to put pressure on exchanges, right? Like Netherlands and many other places putting pressure in Europe on Binance and other exchanges. This is starting to lead people to look for alternatives and start moving some of their plays into DeFi. I mean, you just look at this as a space. If you look at the DeFi space, we've come off from bottoms here of 41.5 in market cap in DeFi, sitting up to 46. A nice move here on DeFi over the last couple of weeks here. And again, if you look at the individual projects, some of them are really rocketing. If you held Serum, you're up 94% here over the last 7 days. Aave, popular borrow lending platform, 40%. Trader Joe up 40% as well. Carver 38%. Compound 37%. So when people are saying altcoins are not moving, you need to be looking in the right place. Synthetics up 23% as well. 1inch up 22%. Uniswap is up hugely today. SushiSwap up hugely. You're starting to see these narratives play out. I mean, let's jump here into the Uniswap price, which is up 13% here with a crazy candle. And now if you were buying Uniswap at the bottom here, you're now up here 46% on spot on Uniswap before a move has even started. And this is all by understanding the trend. So you've got to be able to understand what is the trend that's moving. Let's take a look at the AMMs. You can see Cream is up 52%. Trader Joe, we covered off. Spirit Swap on the Phantom network up 33%. You've got Uberswap 25. Even Perpetual DEX exchanges are moving as well. You've got 1inch, which is of course your derivative platforms as well moving. So you've got GMX, GNX, all these types of plays. SushiSwap, like we discovered, Curve is moving. So all the money is flowing back slowly into DeFi. Spooky Swap, of course, on the Phantom ecosystem as well, up 12.2%. That's where you're seeing the money flowing. Now, there's one other narrative I want to share with you, because it's not the only narrative, right? So money's flowing into DeFi. You can see that. I've just evidenced that to you. But then the other place money is flowing is BRC20 tokens. And again, what's the context? Gary Gensler and the US government are not going after Bitcoin. BlackRock have just filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. They wouldn't have done so with their near perfect track record if they didn't think Bitcoin has staying power. So now you're starting to see BRC20 tokens move. Audi up 30% over the last 7 days. Oshi, one of my standout picks, which I made a separate video on. I'll give that to you guys up here. 58%. And again, if you guys want to get involved in BRC20, which is very early stage, huge risk, like this is degen alert. It should be, altcoins should be a tiny bit of your portfolio anyway. Like this should be even a tiny bit of that, right? So make sure you go watch my full guide here for BRC20. I'll link that up somewhere here in this video or in the end screens. But you're starting to see it moving, right? A new entrant here, we moving up 115%, Track Ordinals up 51%. You're starting to see these markets start to move. And again, because the SEC aren't going after Bitcoin. You've got to be able to spot these trends, guys. And first and foremost, how do you take action on this, right? Because we still know it's going to be a Bitcoin-led move. I made a breakdown video that, look, we're still a little bit of time away from a proper alt season. Make sure you go watch that video to see exactly when I think an alt season will start to kick in and how long I think we have to accumulate. But when you look at it, these are some of the plays you do not want to neglect in your portfolio. It's so easy to neglect some of these plays, DeFi plays. But DeFi is a huge trend. If you go back to the DeFi summer, how much did these tokens rocket? And again, TVL will start to come back. Look at this spike here. Look at these charts here. Look at these spikes. Hugely spiking to the upside because people understand that if they want to choke the exchanges, people will be looking for decentralized alternatives. And that is exactly what we're seeing here. So definitely, guys, make sure you're paying attention to these narratives and make sure you are not missing out on having a robust portfolio. That's really, really important. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is next week, well, Friday, we do get the PCE data. That's the most important bit of the calendar this week. Apart from that, it's a pretty quiet week. So hoping that Bitcoin can use that to build on its momentum, right? PCE is, of course, an important inflation reading for Jerome Powell, but we've got some time before our next FOMC meeting. Markets, have been told we're going to get 2 more rate hikes, and yet Bitcoin continues to look pretty strong here. And so for Bitcoin, the main aim of the game is to clear this resistance point here. And once it can do so, we continue to activate our bigger price targets, right? 37,000 on this particular pattern, but then more excitingly on a cup and handle pattern, breaking through the neckline and starting to work our way to this lovely price target of 45. But it's very, very important that we can clear the level we're on. I'm going to jump up to the weekly chart to remind you guys that if we fail at this level, which I have to show both paths with you guys. I can't just tell you all the bullish stuff. I have to tell you what happens if we mess up. If we go back up, come down, go back up, come down again. What does that mean, guys? An M. A double pattern, a reversal pattern, likely that we can move to the downside. So in the midst of the euphoria, let's just remember, we need to go post a higher high. Even if it's just there and then it wants to come down, no problem. At least we got higher highs and we can create higher lows and continue uptrending through the neckline. That's really important. What we cannot afford is a sharp rejection here to the downside. So really important that we can build our momentum over this week to start moving ourselves upwards. If you also look at the EMA ribbon, we've got our beautiful bounce off the EMA ribbon. If you switch down to the daily chart, you can see we're overextended. And that is why in my video yesterday, I shared the exact levels I will be buying at. Because I'm not buying extended up here. I'm not. And already since I said that, you can see we're starting to call over a little bit. RSI is topped out here, high levels here. I'm not buying chasing that. There's no need for me to be buying up there. The other thing we want to take a look at, which is very interesting, is the dollar index. So let's pull up the dollar index. Remember, crypto typically is the opposite correlation. It's inversely correlated to the dollar index. You need the dollar index to move down for crypto to do well. But look at this. The last 2 days here on the dollar index has shown a nice move into the EMA ribbon on the dollar index. Now, luckily, it got rejected, right? And it started moving back down. But what we're seeing is Bitcoin is doing well despite the dollar strengthening, which is crazy, right? So you saw a lot of this movement, I'm guessing, due to the geopolitical stuff going on in Russia as we speak. I think that strengthened the dollar and weakened the other basket of currencies, which is what the dollar index is, allowing the dollar index to move into its EMA ribbon. But we need the status quo to return here. We need this to be pushed down and create a lower low, which can give Bitcoin and traditional markets like the Nasdaq and risk-on assets runway to move to the upside. So there you have it, guys. A really important narrative I wanted to bring to your attention here on a Sunday. If you appreciate this analysis, even on a weekend, make sure you smash up likes, make sure you subscribe, because I want to give you the alpha as and when it matters. And it matters right now that you focus on DeFi, you look for those opportunities, and make sure you're not neglecting this narrative. This is a narrative I think that will continue to play out in the next cycle, along with Layer 1 solutions, because the reality is the battle via exchange is going to be ongoing. The lawsuits between Coinbase and Binance and the SEC, they're going to have ups, they're going to have downs, it could be long and drawn out. And in those times, you will see moments where DeFi starts to pump. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to go watch my video here on the key levels on Bitcoin, and I'll see you in the next one.